Recovery, probably one of the most popular segments or categories in the consumable fitness industry. So many things that promise to speed up recovery. Supplements, cold dip, lights, all kinds of crazy stuff. Diet changes and tips and hacks and all that stuff. But here's the deal. Nothing, absolutely nothing will positively or negatively impact your recovery like sleep. Meaning if you get good sleep, there isn't a combination of hacks that'll be as effective at improving your recovery. And if you get bad sleep, you can do all of the other stuff that you want. Your recovery will be severely hampered. So if you're serious about recovery, the bottom line is get serious about sleep.
I sleep in my hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah, that was a thing.
I would do that. Would you do that? I would do that.
I would totally
maybe
do that.
Have you guys ever been in a hyperbaric chamber?
No,
You're not going to sleep in that.
Really? Is it uncomfortable?
It's loud.
Oh, they make it. They don't make it more quiet.
No,
Really?
No, it makes
Well, that kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, it changes the whole. The
Really?
pressure. Yeah, I've been in one before.
That's stupid.
Yeah, I know.
So, okay, can we sell this better? I feel like obviously we've known this forever.
Yeah.
And every trainer has communicated this, I imagine. Or I hope you have communicated this to your staff. But for some reason, this just doesn't register. And I think maybe there's a better way
You need
to
a
communicate
hypnotist
because
and sleep.
here's, and I want to hear you guys' opinion on this, but I think this is where people go wrong is they go, my sleep is fine.
Yes.
And so what's the next thing?
Right.
Well, give me the next red light thing. Give me the next cold plunge thing. Give me the next supplement thing. My sleep is fine. But I think if you understood that sleep is that impactful, that let's pretend your fine sleep is still only at 75 or 80%
That's right.
optimized. And if we could squeeze another 20% of optimization out of that sleep, meaning we improve your sleep by 10 to 20% more, that will significantly impact more than any supplement, more than any other cool hack that's on the market. Or
combination of hacks.
So I think that's where we're missing the mark here is that people think, oh, okay, well, my sleep is already good, so I've already got that box checked. Now give me the next thing versus, wait a second, we all could probably improve our sleep a little bit
grow muscle and balance your hormones. You know, it's like that's where it all happens.
Yeah, you know what it is I think people don't think about sleep unless it's really extremely bad.
This is bad.
Right. But when you look at, so did you guys know this, that for a long time, most people, especially in the winter, the average person slept something like 10 hours a day? Okay. Because the sun went down.
It was dark.
It was dark and people just went to sleep. This is what we did. The average person now sleeps something like 6 or 7 hours if they're lucky. Mm-hmm. So we are all of us. So here's the deal. If you're watching this right now, the odds are that you're not optimizing your sleep. Now, how do you know if you're not optimizing your sleep? Well, do you not do the following? Do you not turn off your electronics a couple hours before bed? Do you go to bed at the same time or wake up at the same time every single day? Do you not eat a couple hours before you go to bed? Do you find yourself needing to sleep in oftentimes or take naps, right? So all of those will give you hints and clues that like you're doing okay in the sense that you can survive, but you're not thriving. So if you're somebody that's like, I want to really improve my recovery so that I could train harder, so my body adapts better. There was that one study that I love to quote where same diet, everything was the same. One group got bad sleep, one group got good sleep. Both had a calorie deficit. The good sleep group lost twice as much body fat. The bad sleep group lost muscle.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens to the body. So I think the way you said it was perfect, Adam. It's like if you could improve your sleep by 10%, you're going to get way more returns in terms of fat loss, muscle gain, cognitive performance, hormone balancing than any combination of sleep hacks. So where should you focus your time and energy when it comes to recovery? Your sleep. Mm-hmm. Before sleep, during sleep, after sleep, the time you go to bed, the time you wake up, like that makes a huge impact.
Now, that being said, when I talk to family and friends that obviously ask us about all these things, I always go that way first. Like what are the things that I can do for free and the things that I can do to improve like sleep first. Then if I'm going to take any sort of supplements that to improve performance, improve muscle ability, I actually are going to recommend hacks or things that improve the sleep. Right. So that's why like 8 Sleep has been one of my personal favorite hacks on something that has significantly changed my life, is something that has dramatically improved the consistency of my good sleep by being able to manage the temperature. If I look back just 5-6 years ago, before we had partnered with these companies, before 8 Sleep, we were working with Euler, similar type of a product, right? Now that we're with 8 Sleep, it's been, I don't know, the last year or 2 years. So before that, if I were to like go back and look at the things that disrupted my sleep the most consistently over the 20 years before that, it was managing temperature. I would have during the summer, winter, doesn't matter. Like I'd have this waking up in the middle of the night and super hot and having to shed clothes or turn on an AC. And just by managing my body's temperature at the most optimal place all night long, I'm guaranteeing I'm stacking up way more hours of sleep than I ever did.
It's always interesting for me to see like how people look at, like, they'll invest all this into the work. So they'll invest it into like the gym memberships, into the equipment, into the food, into the supplements, whatever, all these other things besides like, improving the quality of their sleep in some way, like getting a better bed, getting 8 sleep, getting, all of that sort of factored in. So it's like, let's put some effort there so we get even more of a return out of it. And it just makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, what they did, what they did, by the way, you had devices like the Oura Ring, which had made an impact because you could monitor and have objective measurements and data on your actual sleep quality. Because what happens, and this is what's tough, right? And we saw this, we see this with basic fitness and nutrition. You'll take someone and they're like, well, I'm eating healthy, I feel okay. They don't realize that they weren't feeling great until they start to really feel great.
Right.
Then the contrast is like, oh my gosh, now I can see I lacked energy. I can see that I didn't feel good. Now I feel incredible. And it's opened my eyes to how I actually felt for years or decades. So what these objective measures do with, like I said, devices like Oura Ring and stuff is people could see like, oh, here I'm measuring more of the deep sleep. Here I'm waking up throughout the night, and you don't remember that you wake up throughout the night, but it shows that I am, type of deal. 8 Sleep, combine that with technology that actually adjusts temperature of the bed.
Yeah, the AI.
It's got AI. So not only can you monitor, better night of sleep, then you can connect it to other things, but it also uses AI to adjust things on the fly, essentially. They even have did you guys know this?
The new snoring feature.
They have a feature that if it picks up that you're snoring, it will do things to make you stop snoring.
Yeah. Like what? Does it shock you?
I don't know. I want you to find out for me.
So I believe what happens is if it detects snoring, it will vibrate to kind of get you to change position.
Wow.
Yeah. Now they also have a new one that actually will raise the bed.
Yeah.
Oh,
so if you buy, there's levels to this, right? So you can get the 8 Sleep, just the cooling system.
Yeah.
Then you can get the 8 Sleep and mattress system and the sleeve thing. And then it has like the full on customizable bed that will actually move. And that bed will elevate and sit you upright. So if you're sleeping and it picks up your snoring, it'll slowly bring the bed up so you can breathe more upright.
That'd be good for my acid reflux.
So crazy, dude.
I mean, like I said, it's a big deal. Like, you ever have a family member, a friend who finally uses a CPAP, right? Because they snore, and then they'll tell. I'm not gonna say who it is. I have a family member use a CPAP because they're like, I guess I have sleep apnea. I don't know. I feel fine. And then 2 nights after using it, they're like, oh my God.
Oh my God, I'm so refreshed.
I can't
feel
believe
like a baby.
how good I feel. Oh my God. You just don't know.
Yeah.
But there's so much on the market for recovery that you're barely moving the needle. Like, you're barely moving the needle when in comparison to sleep. And by the way, this goes in the opposite direction too. Poor sleep nothing will destroy your potential progress like poor sleep. Nothing. In fact, you can cut your testosterone in half. I think 1 or 2 nights of poor sleep. You can literally make it drop by 50%.
Sleep and stress, probably the 2 number 1 killers for clients' results. Yeah. When I had clients and I would assess somebody who was checking all the boxes, right, showing up to my appointments, following the diet like we're supposed to, but we're not seeing results, almost always one of the 2 culprits.
Yeah.
Yep.
And many times both connected, right? Many times someone who's very, very high stress also has poor sleep and vice versa. But those tend to be the 2 biggest killers and things that stall people's progress when they're checking all the other boxes, when they're doing what they're supposed to nutritionally, and when they're exercising consistently, but still not seeing the results they want, almost always related to sleep and stress.
Today's giveaway is Maps Aesthetic. To enter to win, leave a comment below this video in the first 24 hours that we drop it, and then subscribe to this channel and also turn on notifications. Do all those things. If you win, we'll let you know in the comment section. Also, this month's sale, Maps 15, half off. The bikini bundle of workout programs, half off. And the shredded summer bundle of programs, also half off. If you're interested, go to mapsfitnessproducts.com, use the code June50, or click on the link at the top of the description below. All right, back to the show.
It's interesting. A while back, we were talking about like how was like basically eat rocks when I'm sleeping. And
because
my teeth are just like totally jacked.
because
as a
you
result.
grind your teeth like nothing else, bro.
So I've read some of the comments. I don't know if you like, there's some people, like 2 people in particular, like kind of brought this up, that there's like this procedure where you basically take like a Botox type injection into your jaw muscles. And apparently it's supposed to relax it just enough to where you don't have such a crazy, like tight bite. And this thing is like over the years, just like the masters, everything else, I'm just like way too like overbearingly strong with my bite.
I'm far from an expert on this, but here's my initial reaction when I hear that is it's like symptom control. And also,
Yeah, that's
when
kinda
you
what I was
weaken
thinking,
muscles, we know this as trainers, so I don't know much about Botox, but I do know that it will either partially or fully can paralyze essentially muscles, right?
too. Yeah. I had the same.
You're going to
concern.
create a new recruitment pattern in your jaw because it's not like other muscles.
So this is what so here's
so
what
maybe you can create
I just-
TMJ or something else.
so what would be cool with you,
I've had TMJ as a result of the biting. So
Okay.
yeah.
what would be cool is
You're telling us you're going to get Botox that we're doing? He comes
I
by
just
and
throw that out there.
his face is all like he laughs. He's like,
like Sylvester Stallone.
you're
just
just
like
like
a
laugh and
wind-
nothing else moves. You know what I mean?
Hey guys, it's hilarious, Adam.
He's planting the seed.
Yeah.
You get sad. Just
What
tears
would
come
be
out, nothing
cool,
happens.
Justin, and I know this is totally not like you to want to do something like this, but I think it would be really valuable is if there was a way that there was something that could measure, right? So that you could wear like a guard that was measuring the pressure that you were doing, and then you could do things leading up to bed to see if it does. For example, like maybe, believe it or not, like doing like gratitude.
Like box breathing.
Well, yeah,
like
box
gratitude,
breathing,
yeah.
gratitude, doing some things like that.
I
before
do that. I
you
even put lavender fucking
right,
lotion
like
on me,
what
dude.
are what like
Did you
I'm
really?
doing all the things, dude. I'm lathering, dude.
But it's hard to it's probably really hard and difficult to tell like what's really moving the
I know
needle,
what-
right?
yeah.
Like it'd be nice if we had something that was measuring that for
I know what
you.
would help him.
Yeah.
You need a good cry right before bed.
Fuck,
Just
good
let it out, bro. Whatever it is inside of you needs to come the fuck out, dude. Because it's trying
Just
to.
a body pillow and
Yeah, you need you already have a body pillow anyway. Shut your face.
stop putting it out
There's
there.
there's something unprocessed, dude, and you're letting it like at night. You're letting it out. Like,
Yeah, I know, but what am I supposed to do about that? That's not helpful.
yeah. Well, I mean, we could
You go
talk
on
to
like a
somebody.
DMT journey, bro.
Yeah, no, we have
Hey.
to do all that, bro.
Hey, speaking of nighttime, and
don't
that
see
made
a
me think of
panther.
this nighttime dark thing that I saw. Of course, I was in the hospital for over a week, so I have all these notes of things. It's like all I could do was be on my phone all day. So I got topics for the next 6 months.
Oh, awesome.
No, I did.
We're gonna lean on
and
you a
some
bit.
of them are probably horrible, terrible, but I did see some cool things I couldn't wait to share with you guys. I thought was really interesting. Doug, pull this up. I want Justin to, well, both of you guys to see this. But have you guys seen glow in the dark baseball?
Oh, dude, I
Is
saw
that an actual
this.
game?
I saw that video.
Yes.
That's so funny.
Looks so
you bring
cool.
That
That
up.
sounds fun.
I saw that and immediately I was like, dude, we should do this.
This
Like,
looks
should
so
be fun.
cool.
So do
Even
the-
if it's
Andrew's
softball.
gonna love this.
the bases are probably glow in the
Everything.
dark.
It's pitch black. The ball glows. The like
You
everything.
can see the ball way better.
Yes, that's
because
why I
it's
like-
like it just stands out.
What about the people? What about people? Are we all just like ninjas?
I think the uniforms have black. So everything is like black light sensitive.
Yeah, there's because the the lights to keep the field lit are like the black lights now.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so like all the
Black light.
base, the lines, all the things that you need to see are like lit up by black light sensitive. So like I believe the jerseys were, the ball was, the bases were, the lines
atomic
were.
baseball or something.
It just looked really cool. I forget what country.
I thought that was really smart.
they're like on that planet in Dune. Remember when they were fighting on Dune and it looked like black lights?
Yeah. Well, it was like the absence of color. It was just black and
Yeah,
white.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Although you still have to play baseball, which sucks. That's the only thing,
Dude, playing baseball is fun. Watching it's a different thing.
Oh wow, look at that. So it's all just black lights, basically. Cosmic baseball, they call it.
Did it show? Could you see the article where it's based out of? Look how cool that is.
Oh, that does kind of look cool.
That's way cool.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting.
Yeah, now you don't get that like, oh, sun's in my eye excuse. You know?
I
Yeah,
guess.
when you're in the outfield.
Where is it at? Where does it say there? Who's doing it? Like what is it? Is it? Oh, it's
in
the US.
Virginia.
Oh, Virginia. So it's in
Yeah.
the U.S.
Speaking of weird sports, did you guys see
it's
Eddie?
cool.
Did you guys see Eddie Hall's last MMA fight? Did you see this?
Yes.
Who do you fight?
I feel like I've watched
Two
all your
people.
guys' videos.
At once?
At the same time.
Yeah.
He fought 2 people at the same time, bro.
He picks some guy up, he throws him on the ground,
he's a
and the other
baby.
guy runs at him and he just
I
knocks
saw
him.
that one viral video of the big fat guy fighting 2 MMA chicks. Did you see that one?
that must be in Russia.
Yeah.
Was he really?
Yes. It was like a big fat guy who's fighting 2
So
MMA
you know what the problem
chicks.
is? The problem with it is we all want
Like,
to
we're
see
going to
that.
go
I
super
know,
quickly.
you know,
correct.
you can't help but
Like, there's a
like,
part of me that's like, I've always wanted to know who would win. 2 really tough chicks versus a big fat guy. That's a question I want to know.
It's answered. So just so you know, it's like when you get like, who's going to win, like a bear or a tiger?
Yes.
You know, you
What-
want
okay,
to figure that out.
what
By the
is
way,
that?
that'll piss way
Hey,
more people off.
by
than
the
a
way,
big fat guy fighting 2
what
chicks.
is that in
Totally.
us? Why is that in us?
I don't know, bro.
Why
Like,
is that? Why are we like? And if you deny that you're a liar.
No,
It's there.
You want to like stack things together and be like, oh, I wonder what would happen.
yeah, dude. I know the Romans used to do that with animals. I know the hippo was undefeated. It was a hippo
Hippo's
that killed
the
everybody.
strongest,
Nobody can fuck with a
vicious
hippo.
killer
Yeah.
there is.
Yeah, the cute, fat, chubby hippo. Just killing everybody.
It's all because of their jaw, though, right? And their
aggressive.
Their ability to open their mouth
Tough
is like
skin and dude,
way
yeah,
more,
They're,
and then they're
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 fast.
all muscle. They're not like fat like turds like they look like. You
Yeah.
know, they're
Look at Justin
they're really
defending
like
hippos.
he's like, I've always identified as a hippo.
I'm just like, dude, I'm a hippo. I got hippo energy, dude.
He's on
Hungry
Bro,
hippo.
you should get a hippo tattoo.
I'll be a hippo.
You should get a hippo tattoo.
I'm the hippo.
Yeah.
No, Russia. Oh, by the way, did you guys just reminded me? Did you know that? I don't know where this was. Doug, maybe look up. In medieval times, husband and wife could legally divorce by fighting each other. Did you guys see this?
This is a long. It's a long.
No, there was a rule.
Wow.
There was a rule. So what it was if a husband and wife wanted to get divorced, I want Doug to look this up because I want to get this right. They would have
It's like whoever gets knocked out gets child
no.
custody
The
or
court would say yes, you guys can fight to determine who wins. The husband has to be standing in a hole. So basically, he's standing in a chest high hole, and he can't touch
he's
the
just
walls.
torso and arms.
He can't touch the walls, okay? And he has, I think, a club, and she has a sword or something like that, and she's running around him.
Holy-
And then to even odds,
What?
and they would fight. And if he touched the sides, he would lose a weapon, and then use his own hands. And I was reading about this, bro.
This can't be real.
Look right there. Look. Read.
Oh my god.
Okay, so read the.
Dude, what?
Does
He's
it have
in a
the
hole?
rules on it? Oh, you can't. You didn't subscribe
I have
to
to
that.
sign up for the thing.
Oh, that's stupid.
I mean,
up
look
the
at it. We
rules.
can see by the picture. I get the drift right here. Couple said.
but-
What does it say?
I, like if he
Medieval
got a hold of
people
her,
are wild.
if he got a hold of her, he could drag her into the hole and beat the crap out of her.
Oh,
or she
really?
could fuck him up. Yeah, hit him on the top. Or
They call it divorce by combat.
I wonder
It's
how.
like,
I wonder
was
how
there
many
any
couples would
wisdom
opt.
there?
Yeah.
hey, you know what's funny? I should send this to Jessica. Be like, hey, if these rules were applied to us, do you think you beat me? What do you think would win? If I was in a hole and you
Yeah.
had a club and you were running around me, what do you think would happen?
Yeah.
She'd probably kick my ass. What are the rules there?
Let me see if I can find the rules.
Oh,
for
right
that.
there. What was the?
I mean, was
medieval-
this just like, did it end with somebody's death or was it they just get beat up?
It was in 1487. It was in Germany, of course. Yeah,
Why is that?
yeah. I want to see the rules.
Okay,
Someone
let
find
me
the
see if I
rules.
can find this.
Yeah, someone find the rules for me because I think it's hilarious. Anyway, speaking of international news,
Yeah.
did you guys see? You might have, Justin. I know.
I've been on the internet a bit. I
Yeah.
guess.
So, did you hear the interview with the president from El Salvador
I didn't watch that.
with Tucker?
I think you guys sent that though.
Yeah,
What do you got?
what are
do
the
you got
rules?
down?
Okay, so the man had to fight in a hole with one of his arms tied behind his back.
That's
Oh
what it was.
shit!
Wow, he has
and
only one
tied behind-
arm?
Wow.
Hold on. There's more.
So the woman was allowed to move freely within the arena, but had to wear cloth containing weights. It says cloth containing weights. As for her weapon, she was usually given a sack filled with rocks. The man was provided with 3 clubs. However, if he touched the side of the hole during combat, he would have to lose one of his clubs. So they were usually given a month or 2 to settle their differences prior to combat. The duel would only take place if they could not compromise and make peace with each other. If the husband lost the duel, he would have his head cut off. If the wife lost the duel,
Extreme.
she would be buried alive. What?
What?
wow.
Okay.
Hey,
Dude,
incidentally,
so let's talk about like
You have to-
strategy here.
Hey, let's talk about how much you have to hate your spouse
Yeah.
to go.
I think the
so you got to really hate your
I mean,
spouse.
I'm pretty sure the divorce rate was 0% back then.
Have you guys? There's
We're
a
not
new
aiming
there's
for
a new
arm and then, like,
there's a new
feet.
Netflix movie called Hitman. Have you guys seen it?
No.
It's called Hitman, and it's loosely based on someone's real life. And the show opens up, and it really made me start thinking. And this guy had a position, and his job was to basically go set people up and record them trying to hire a hitman. So he was a fake hitman.
Oh, I see.
And the way the thing opens up, you guys should watch it. It was really entertaining. But the way it opens up is him basically talking about how everybody thinks that hitman really exists and it's all made up. There's no such thing as a real hitman.
They just take your money.
Yeah, it's like there's no such thing as somebody who will kill someone for $10,000.
Dude, that's
it's
so
just
interesting.
And he's like, in fact, we've created the police department has hired a person to literally just capture all these people that are crazy enough to give someone money to try and kill
someone. That makes
someone.
so much sense, and I'm gonna tie this in because
I thought they were real.
No,
Yeah.
everybody thinks they're real.
I think that's the thing. I think everybody thinks there's a guy that will, I'll just do that for money.
Yeah.
Like no risk. You know?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude. The lead singer for As I Lay Dying, Tim Limbesis, he literally like was in that crazy state of mind that like he was gonna lose his kids and all this to the divorce and had a guy like hired at the gym, like just met a guy, right? It's like you met a guy at a gym. Turns out he's like an undercover cop, and so I'm sure
So this is based on someone's like real story. He did this for like 30 years of his life for the police department, and over 70 people he set up and got imprisoned for trying to hire somebody.
Wow.
And it's a great story. Obviously, it's loosely based, so there's a little bit of comedy and character building and stuff like in it. But it really made me go like, oh my God, is that true? Is there like really
Unless you're like maybe you know like a cartel guy. Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, they would
Maybe.
do that.
Yeah, even then.
Okay. Speaking of which,
Yeah, but here's the thing though. Would they do that for Joe Smo? They would kill to protect the cartel and to do stuff like that. But
it'd
that's
probably
different.
be a lot more for 10 grand though, right? I mean, if
Exactly.
you went to them, you could probably offer a lot of money.
Yeah.
Who knows? But so speaking of which,
this is the conversation.
This
though.
brings up a lot of thoughts.
Well, so I was going to say the El Salvador president gets interviewed. Now he gets elected in MS-13. You guys know what MS-13 is?
No.
Yep.
They're one of the most
Scariest gangs
violent
out there.
South American or just gangs in the world. Super violent. They cut people's heads off, kill people, drug gang type of deal. So he goes through and talks about the history of MS-13 in this interview. And Tucker says, you guys essentially in a few years, your country went from being one of the most dangerous with some of the most attacks to being the safest. How did you do this? And he goes, we prayed. First we prayed. And he's like, what? So then he goes in and talks about MS-13 and how they were satanic.
Yeah.
There are gang members from, this is in the whole interview, MS-13 gang members in prison who left the gang because they were first selling drugs, killing rivals, but then they got invited into these crazy sacrificial rituals where they were, I don't even want to say what they were doing.
Dude.
And they would leave the gang. So we started getting tips like that, he said. And then we realized this was a spiritual war. Literally in the whole interview, he talks about this.
Oh,
and he's like the most popular president, I think, in the history of that country.
MS-13 is one of the major gangs.
And they are satanic. They started doing satanic rituals. I don't know exactly when that started, but it was well documented. In the case of El Salvador, we were literally the murder capital of the world. And we turned it into the safest country in the Western Hemisphere.
You did that in just a couple years. How did you change it?
So we pray.
It's so crazy to hear that because I've watched a few documentaries on MS-13 and you'd see all the tattoos, the satanic tattoos and 666 and all these types of things. And you're like, I just thought that was like a tactic for them to look scary.
Right,
you know,
right.
Like,
Yeah.
But then to find out that they had all these rituals attached to it, I was like, oh my God, this is a whole nother level.
Oh yeah, dude. You got really bad guys basically who are in the gang who left because they saw some of the sacrifices and stuff that they would want to do. Yeah, with like innocent children, the whole deal. Yeah, dude. So he's like, oh, we realized that this was this was a spiritual war. So it's that's what he said, the whole thing.
In what period of time did they go from the worst to best?
A few years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty insane.
And this is like literally, this gang is notorious for being one of the most violent, vicious in the world.
And they just take over.
Who leads it? Is there do they have like a single leader?
I mean, I know they make
question.
their money through drug sales, but I don't know. That's a good question. And I know they compete with the Mexican cartels.
Yeah,
right?
they compete.
Oh, so they're rivals. They're not like.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, who knows, right? They may work together at some level. You know how organized crime is. Well, I don't know, but from what I've seen in movies.
Bro, it sounds like
You know
like
all about the black market.
It sounds like it sounds like we're talking about like the hitman stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what made me really think. It's like, you know how many people just they act like you know.
Yeah,
and you
I
act,
don't know what the fuck I'm talking
Speaking of
about.
black
like, do you
market,
like how many hitmen do you know?
Yeah, exactly. Did you know they just like busted, I guess, some big ring of Ozempic, black market Ozempic coming into the States?
Of course.
I was like,
of
"Whoa,
course.
it's happening.
Of course.
No way.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh my God. So yeah, you got to really like make sure you know where
Well,
it's coming from.
I don't know why we didn't talk about that. We should have seen that coming.
Of course.
Especially
We
with the
talked. No, we did. We said that there's gonna be a lot of people using it, like you would, like people use anabolic steroids or other substances who aren't supposed to be using it or aren't prescribed. Absolutely. Now it's not a schedule drug, so I would imagine getting it in the black market would be a lot easier.
That's why I think it's kind of crazy when you think about like that. There's going to be a lot of that going on, right? Because you're way less risk if you get caught with it. It's not like if you get caught with 20 pounds of Ozempic, you're going to prison for. Wow, interesting.
Hey, I want to tell you guys, I've gotten so many questions on. So Organifi reposts a lot of our clips when we talk about their products, and the Shilajit one is just going crazy, right? The one on the Shilajit gummies.
Yeah.
So I'm having people come up to me like this has happened now a few times where people come up to me and say, "Hey, I want to try it. Yeah, I want to try it. I saw you talking about it. What do you think? Whatever." So I had a family member
All these personas
who came up to me, and I told them the studies. They didn't believe me. I pulled them up. It's so crazy. The studies that support, like medical studies that support its use for raising testosterone. It's also been, it's called in studies a novel neuroprotectant substance. Yeah. And it also shows promise as a cognitive enhancer or something that reduces the symptoms of things like dementia and Alzheimer's.
Now explain how they actually like harvest it, right? Because isn't it kind of like a tar?
Like a tar on trees,
and you have to go to like...
Oh, that's what it was.
Well, yeah, because it's...
I was going to
like
tell you to stop selling it so hard because I'm getting the backlash of people that expect it to taste like gummy bears, and it doesn't taste like gummy bears.
No, it's good. It's not bad.
It's like tar from a tree, and they actually
what they should do is try the other version of it before they...
That's right. That's a way to say it. It's like, hey, if that it should win over already all the people that have been taking it because it's amazing for comparison.
So it's literally, it's a natural substance found mainly in the Himalayas, formed for centuries. So this stuff is old.
Yeah,
it's
really
hundreds
old.
of years old at least, by the gradual decomposition of certain plants by the action of microorganisms. And yes, it looks like tar because it comes out of rocks.
It's like black
known as mineral pitch. I mean, isn't that what tar is? Kind of, isn't that how they would define it?
Don't eat tar. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
or
no
pine
idea.
tar, or like isn't that the same? Like sappy. It's like a sap, like a sap,
perhaps.
sap.
Well, look, here's the deal. Shilajit, straight Shilajit does not taste good. Does not taste good at all. So the way they made the gummies palatable is pretty remarkable.
magical.
So yeah, but it's not gummy bears, okay?
Yeah, that's right. I think it's so funny. We get people, this doesn't taste amazing.
I know.
It's like, yeah, it's not gummy bears. I can't believe, so I had so many topics that I missed the transition when Justin was talking about his fucked up teeth. Doug, you have to pull us up.
They look good now.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Go.
I insert where I can.
Have you heard Japan has come up with the ability to regrow teeth?
Oh.
Go to Japan, regrow teeth.
You know, teeth can heal themselves.
They can heal themselves.
Yeah, with cavities.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched mine now. I remember when I had to go to the dentist and I had like two craters in my teeth, and they said it was from all the.
By the way, some of the biggest scam artists are dentists. Just gonna say that right now.
You don't have to. I've been saying that on here,
bro. I have another family member.
That's why I only go to my one friend that I know.
I've told the story. I went and got
You too.
eight cavities as a kid. We were too poor to fix them. I come back in 2 years, and all of them are gone. Yeah. I didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? So,
are you eating less candy? I'm eating more candy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I didn't do anything proactive at all.
So what does that say there, Doug?
Yeah.
So it's a drug that's going to stimulate the growth of new teeth. Apparently, people have what's called tooth buds that have the potential to become a new tooth.
Oh.
So this drug is supposed to help do that.
I just think there's some weird shit growing because of this, though. You know what I mean?
I mean, what does that do to the denture
I have
market?
horns now. I have spikes.
Tusks.
Yeah.
That'd be badass.
Shit. I
want
like
some
walrus.
tusks.
Dude, you would look awesome with tusks. Yeah, you would. There's a compound called, I think I'm saying
My
right,
hippo body.
hydroxyapatite. Maybe Doug can look that up. You can get toothpaste with it, and this has been shown to remineralize teeth. So if you have like cavities that are starting, whatever, you can brush your teeth with it. And it's, look it up, hydroxyapatite. So
Aren't you the one? Aren't you like the baking soda guy? Don't you just like baking soda? Or something
I did that for a while, and
I remember you when we were first.
Look that up, Doug. Maybe put that in and say to remineralize teeth or for cavities. I'd love to see what the data says on
They
that.
have toothpaste.
Who trusts more, Adam, dentists or paleontologists?
No.
I'm curious.
They're neck and neck, bro.
Okay.
They're neck and neck, dude. Yeah.
No.
All right.
What does that say there, Doug? Are there any articles talking about how?
Yeah, let me see this here. Naturally occurring calcium that makes up 65 to 70% of the tooth.
And has been shown.
So it
to
helps remineralize teeth, making them stronger.
Oh, there
and
you
more
go. It
resistant.
may also reverse small cavities. It also has properties that help with positive microbiome in the mouth. A lot of people don't know this, but a lot of cavities just have to do with your microbiome. Yeah. And some people
You got a dirty mouth.
Dude, my dad. Okay, I love telling this story because it's the funniest thing ever. He was poor. He didn't have a toothbrush growing up. He just didn't. The way he would brush his teeth,
His finger.
he would use his finger and with water. Okay, no braces, let alone no toothbrush. So forget braces.
Yeah.
Comes to America, marries my mom. Years later, I don't know how old he was, 30, and my mom was like, "You got to go." My dad never been to a dentist in his life. You have to go to the dentist. You got to do this, whatever. You have insurance now for it, whatever. My dad's like, "All right," goes to the dentist, and the dentist argued with my dad. He goes, "So when did you get your braces? Tell me about the braces you wear." He's like, "I never wear braces." He goes, "What? What do you mean? What about your? I never brush my teeth." You're like, and he argued with him, and then brought a bunch of people into the room to look at my dad's teeth because he literally they're so perfect. They're straight. He never had a cavity.
My stepdad is like that too.
Yeah.
He grew up kind of poor like that, and
No problems.
and like the most perfect teeth you ever see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problems at all.
What the fuck happened to me?
It's like one genetic, two microbiome. Like those are like the two biggest factors of like your teeth. Is like literally like just your genetic propensity of what they're going to turn out to be, and then two, your microbiome.
Yeah, and a lot of that is, I guess, is related to gut health, but also just there's a genetic component there. Because I know I have family members that do all kinds of stuff to make sure they don't have cavities, and they get every time they go to the dentist.
Yeah,
they get cavities just left and right.
Yeah.
So anyway, crazy. Speaking of the body, human body, I just learned a statistic about the liver. So you guys know the liver can regenerate, meaning if there's parts of the liver that are damaged, it'll regenerate itself. Yeah, but it can also regrow itself. I'm gonna pull up this. I just read this today. I thought this was so crazy because a lot of our organs can't do this. A liver can regrow to normal size even after up to 90% of it has been removed.
90?
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
It could grow to full size again?
About full size.
Wow.
From something like that.
What a trip.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
That's a wild statistic to know about the liver, which also makes you like really trip out over people who
destroy it,
who drink so much alcohol,
who drink themselves to liver disease.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
because you could
imagine how much you have to stress it in order to do that.
You got to go hard for a long time.
Wow, that's crazy. 90%.
Yeah, that is.
That's wild.
Justin, I brought this up for when it was the Sal and Justin podcast.
Oh yeah,
because I don't know what Adam will think about this. But
memories,
bro. Did you know?
Conspiracy theory?
Well, no, this is real. There's a map created in 1978 that shows, and this has been confirmed for other maps. There's a network of underground tunnels. Most of the entrances are located in national parks.
Yeah, bro.
And I know it's old news for you, bro.
I know. I've been saying that.
Yeah, but why is that a big deal? Because it's in national parks.
Because
it's a pretty smart place to do it.
Exactly. And so a lot of people are saying this is how they smuggle.
This is trafficking.
Yeah.
And a lot of those tunnels lead to docks.
Mm-hmm.
So, like ways that they can kind of bring them to the harbor. So, yeah, it's messed up. Like if you start looking into all that stuff, like and a lot of times too, which is, even more like frustrating is that that like there has to be people within authority positions that know about it.
Right.
And they just turn a blind eye.
See, because it's a national park, you have limited ability to go investigate, build. Nobody's going to build around it. It's protected land. So you'll never discover them. So it does sound like the perfect situation. Dude, I went down a rabbit hole.
Here's the part that I don't understand. How did just the right people that are evil get into places of power and position and still keep it from the people that aren't evil? Like, because you guys can't possibly believe that everybody government is an evil force, right? You got to think that.
No, it's all segmented.
So it's like how do the underground drug muling pedophilian fucking people make it to a position of power and somehow keep these other people that are maybe good
Good people ask questions, and then they bring it up to their supervisors and their authorities, and then they're done. Yeah, that's it. That's as far as it goes.
And then a lot of people are compromised too. So, like, for example, after September 11th, we passed laws that allow them to legally monitor everything, and they don't look at it unless they think they need to. But let's just say you're moving up the ranks and you're causing a little bit of problems. Oh, cool. Go scour all of his shit. Find some stuff because we're going to compromise. And then they come to you and be like, hey, Adam.
How are they able to keep Epstein Island a secret for so long?
Yeah, I know. I guess that's true.
It's weird that isn't that weird? They haven't convicted. Who'd they convict with that?
Nobody.
But Trump got it convicted, huh?
Yeah, immediately over
looks like
really interesting charges.
Their priorities are on straight, aren't they?
Just a little bit.
I know. All right,
so
here's a real one. Check this out. This is real, by the way. Gary Webb in 1996. This is all confirmed, by the way. He exposed how the CIA hired drug traffickers to sell massive amounts of cocaine in the United States in order to raise untraceable funds to finance a terrorist organization who were trying to overthrow the Nicaraguan government. We know this. This was a whole big deal when Reagan was in there. Like, how do we fund this overthrow because Congress shut it down? CIA was selling drugs, whatever. And that sparked the crack epidemic. There's like a big story around this or whatever. Anyway, he brought this out. They destroyed his life, destroyed his marriage. And then in 2006, he was found dead with 2 bullet wounds in his head. It was ruled a suicide. Same guy. Isn't that crazy?
2 bullets in his head was ruled a suicide.
Yeah. All right, hold on.
He must have twitched.
it didn't work. It didn't work.
I didn't realize that. That sounds
2 for the good.
Now, how's that happen? You know?
Yeah.
He's a little trigger happy.
Yeah, well, yeah. 2 bullets in his head, roll a suicide. Okay.
Yeah, that's weird.
Sounds
nobody else caught that one, huh?
I didn't catch it until I just read it right now.
Hey, I got something for you guys. So a little bit of dad talk. We haven't talked dad talk. So I'm always fascinated with this. I know, Sal, you like this. It's back to your evolutionary stuff. Like, why are there things that are just innate in us that we don't have to teach the next generation? Like, they just do it without and every time I catch these moments of like,
what do you do?
My son doing something, I'm just like, how did he know to do that? Or how would he know that's a thing, or like whatever, right? And so he's in the bath. Katrina's laying on the bed. I'm on the bed. And he's like doing his thing in his bath. And he's standing up in the bathtub. And Katrina's like, what are you doing? And he turns around and he's got a little heart on. And he's hanging his loofah on his little boner. And it's like, obviously he didn't learn that from me. I didn't teach him that. But everybody in here has hung a towel on their dick. Every single man in this room.
And you want to see how many.
And did your dad teach you? My dad didn't teach me that. But every single man in this room has hung a towel on their dick at one point. And so here he is.
It's a test of strength.
It is.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
He's never seen his dad.
It's got to be a wet towel. That's only if you're strong. Dry doesn't count.
Yeah, how about a beach towel?
Right, Justin?
A beach towel. Yeah.
Just use a facial cloth or
a little.
Why? Why though? Every man has done that. Every single man has done that.
You got it.
He turns around. I die.
Oh,
Katrina's like, "What are you doing?"
Don't laugh at him. He's gonna do
I don't like. Let him.
I put a kettlebell on there. What are you talking about? This guy.
Kettlebell. None of the ones out there, I hope. That's disgusting.
Hell yeah.
Hey, did you see my video, Justin? I thought it might make you mad, but I shared it anyway. Did you guys see me? Did you see me do the punching machine again?
Oh, I did see that.
I challenged the editors. None of them have come up to.
They haven't.
Where was that at?
$100. The Oak Ridge.
Oh, really?
There's a little arcade in there, so I went there with my kid. Which, oh my god, it's so fun! They have a Jurassic Park game that you sit in.
It does make me a little mad.
And it does. I know it does. You sit down and you shoot dinosaurs and monsters and shit. And my 3.5-year-old, he knows how to play pretty well. So we were for like an hour and a half.
Oh, that's awesome.
We were in there just blasting dinosaurs and just, every time someone died, I would hit restart or whatever.
Yeah.
Had so much fun. But then we saw the punching machine, and so I'm like, do you want to see how hard I could punch it? He's like, okay. So like,
do you want to see Hercules?
Yeah. He's like, is that good? I'm like, nobody's ever got that number.
Your
the
dad
machine
is the
said it
strongest
was. The machine said I was first place in the world. He's telling his
better
mom,
than pro fighters.
Papa's the best in the world. But I sent it to the editors. So I'm like, whoever can beat this score. I don't know if they're all regular. If they're all like, what's the word I want to use?
They're the perfect height for you, that's for sure.
Not what?
Yeah, they were built for your body.
Set
They were
up.
built, built for your.
100%.
I wonder if they're all standardized.
No
That's what I was saying.
rotation.
I wonder if like one,
Have
you
you
get a score on one if it gets the same.
Have you seen that viral video too of it like shows like a real martial artist guy like kicking and punching the bag like all bah, 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 and it's like how I think I'm doing it, and then it shows the guy who's like then it's like how I'm really doing it.
Yeah.
He's like rabbit punching it.
They have, there was a version on it. There was a bag on the top and a bag on the bottom. You could also kick someone.
I want to try that.
I'm not
dude.
picturing someone. You could kick something on the floor, and then it'll measure how hard you can
I
kick.
definitely want to try that
No,
one.
stupid.
Let's go.
I'll fall down.
Round 2, bro.
Hey,
I'll take
I
you.
think I got
Have you guys ever
972.
been in a
I'll
fight
take
where
any of
someone
your
tried to
kicks.
kick you? Have you ever been in a fight where someone tried to
Remember
kick you?
Justin got his ass kicked? Remember that kid jumped up
Oh, yeah.
and started doing kung fu on him and
Wait,
shit?
see, I should know to bring up stories. You're going to hold that against me. I was like a kid.
That's like, bro.
I was 4, bro.
You were
It's like,
shocked.
I got beat like twice. Like, I got beat up twice. Dude.
Yeah.
I've
Wait,
had
same guy?
A good career.
Was it the same guy?
of street fights. No, it was this different. But yeah, he kicked me. He kicked me and he gave me like a dead leg, and I just like started crying.
Oh no!
It was like grabbing him and trying to punch him, and just it was pathetic.
Yeah.
I learned from that.
I wonder as an adult if you saw like somebody getting like a karate stance. Are you more worried, or are you you think it's kind of like
God, that's a good question.
right? Do you get more worried? I feel like there's only one thing that would scare me as an adult is the cauliflower ears. Yeah,
That's it.
If a guy and I are about to go
Karate,
at
nah.
it, and I see that
Cauliflower ears, I'm running.
I'm a
Yeah.
little nervous.
Or if he's naked, I'm out. You know what I mean? A naked guy wants to fight you.
naked or cauliflower ears or both.
Or
You're like,
foaming, some kind of
Or
like
poop
PCP
hands.
thing.
You know what I mean? Like something on your hands. Like, what's on your hands, bro? Oh, I'm out of here. No, I think if I saw someone do a kick, because the first kick might not land, right? If I see the kick and I'm like, oh,
Well,
know
so
how to
this is
kick.
funny. This reminds me. So there used to be this designated area where everybody would fight after school, and it was like the back of this church at this parking lot. And
so perfect.
Well, yeah, right. Like it's very convenient, and pastors are in there, doing their work. But we're all gathered around, and this guy knew this guy. He wasn't my friend, but he busted out some karate and was like, getting in his stance and did like a roundhouse kick and totally caught air. And the guy just picks him up and slams
I've seen
him
that.
on
Same
his
thing.
head.
Yeah, I've
I was
seen
like, dude, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be afraid of a kick, even if I saw your kick right before.
He's even
That's
trying to
so hard
karate chop him in the
make
throat.
that happen in a
and-
fight.
you got to hurry up and grab him if you see a good kick. You better grab his ass real quick because
Yeah.
he's about to catch you.
Yeah.
I saw
Dude, elbows and headbutts, bro. That's where it's at.
the headbutt.
The headbutt
Biting,
is so
bro.
underrated.
I'll bite the shit
headbutt
out
is
of you, dude.
terrible.
Oh, headbutt. the shit out of
Biting
somebody.
is underrated.
Yeah, it is underrated.
Yeah.
you sink your teeth into somebody.
But you're also like you're not going to get any street cred though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you win a
you-
fight
No,
with biting.
nobody
no,
thinks
yeah,
that's
no.
cool. Yeah, it's
Nobody's
not
going to tell
Instagram
everybody
worthy.
like, bro, Adam won the fight. Like, yeah, he bit
He
the guy.
fucking bit me,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
You grab my nuts and twist them. He's
Yeah,
a-
that's
he's a
Adam's
real
other move.
dick.
Yeah, it is my other move.
That is, you told
I
me
have,
that.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm like,
You've been in some survival
I was
situations.
gonna say, I've always thought it's funny when people are like, there's like rules. If I'm like, I don't want to get in a fight at all. Like, I'm trying to avoid a
This
fight at
isn't
all costs.
sanctioned.
But if I'm there, I'm using all things necessary to get out of this
USADA's not
alive.
showing up.
Yeah. I saw a guy who was a boxer who just jabbed someone twice on one. A good stiff jab in your nose.
Goes
Yeah.
miles.
Eyes water right up.
Oh yeah,
you
he
don't
was
want to
like
fight
he
after
hit
that.
one and he hit another one. The guy's like, I give up. Just
Oh,
two little
speaking of fighting, you see the Tyson Jake Paul
What
thing.
happened?
Yeah, Tyson had to cancel or reschedule.
Why?
He had like what was his condition? Look it up for me, Doug. He had some like medical condition.
On the plane?
It's already.
I thought he had something on a plane, and then
I
they
don't
said he
know. I
was
don't know
okay.
where it was. But
Unraveling,
it was a
huh?
medical condition that something happened, and so they had to postpone it. So there's a lot of talk around like, is he going to fight still? And according to Tyson said it's on still.
I think this is what it was.
I really don't want him to. I'm like, good,
No,
great.
I don't either.
Retire.
Man, what do you got to? I mean, if he loses, it's not like he beat.
I
Tyson.
actually think that Jake Paul has nothing to win. What does it say?
He got sick on an airplane.
That's what it was. That's what I
Yeah.
thought.
What was the sickness though? It was,
nauseous and dizzy.
yeah, it was something though.
Yeah.
Like, that's related to something. I forgot what it was.
Oh,
I thought
some type of
related to his
condition?
heart.
Good.
Related
I'm
to
glad
his
it's
heart
not
or
bird
something. I
flu.
don't
I've
remember.
seen some
Anyways,
things.
Hey, have you guys, speaking of like stuff that's on social media, have you guys seen, first of all, two things. Did you see the video on Biden where it looks like he pooped himself? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Have you seen it? He was
kind
doing,
of walks over and kind of.
yeah, no, it doesn't look good, dude.
Oh my
Doug,
God.
pull up.
It looked like when you're.
You think they have diapers on him?
Kid.
I feel bad. This is elder abuse. He's obviously in dementia.
So embarrassing
Clear.
to be an American. That's like our president.
I mean,
Because here's the way I look at it. Once someone's in office, I'm rooting for you.
of course.
Yeah,
No matter who
we
you
don't
are.
want you to.
Yeah, I am rooting for you.
I'm not trying to
do
take
well.
You do represent
Yeah.
our country at this point. And it's like, we have to have the worst representation in the world.
The most frail, like demented example.
So have you guys seen the like the comedic like videos and like other countries are making fun
Of course
his
they
dementia.
are. Of course they are. We would too.
Yeah. But he's at this talk. I think it was D-Day.
Yep.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
And he like,
when he left early too, right?
bro, he did poop himself.
He literally did.
Okay.
Oh, I thought that was a
they didn't confirm
speculation.
it. No, they didn't confirm it. Okay, look, we all have kids. What do toddlers do when they're playing and they stop? You ever seen a toddler play and they stop and they kind of do the half
The
squat?
kind of grimace and the eyes.
They do a little half squat. That's what he did in the video. I don't know why it's not playing, but everybody's like, he definitely, it's in the show.
Wow.
Yeah, here he is. Watch.
Oh, yeah.
They're just chilling. Who is that? French president or whatever? And then
He's like, hey, Jill, I got oh, God.
that sucks.
What?
And then the people around him are kind of making faces and stuff like, what's going on?
Maybe he's farting or
horrible.
something right there.
Well, I mean, if you're there, you know. Speaking of
Yeah, it's not
Biden,
good.
so his wife, right, Jill, you want to hear something crazy? That's true.
What?
Jill Biden, when she was 15, babysat Joe Biden's son, Hunter. So Joe Biden, I guess, was married before. Jill Biden was his 15-year-old babysitter. Then he gets married to her later on.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude. Someone confirmed that for me. I confirmed it, but I just want to confirm it again.
Yeah, that's always good to do a little fact check.
That's gross, dude.
That's like in.
That's gross.
I mean, what?
Well, I mean, this happens all the time.
Priscilla Presley was like 15.
Bro, no, do you guys, okay, Red Hot Chili Peppers. This is in my notes, actually. It's crazy you went this direction.
Anthony Kiedis.
Yeah, right? Is that his name? It's in my
Anthony
notes.
Kiedis.
Him and Leonardo DiCaprio. Both those dudes are with 19-year-old girls.
Right now?
Yes, right now.
Now, how old
Anthony
is...
Kiedis is like 61 years old.
Oh,
I mean.
And he's with a 19-year-old.
oh, come on.
Leonardo DiCaprio, the rumor about him is like
They're
they're never get, once a girlfriend gets 25, he dumps her and goes back to like a 19-year-old.
Yeah. Because it's happened like 5 times.
Yes.
Now, Leonardo's what, 45?
Yeah, so it's less creepy.
Yeah.
But 45, 61,
But 60
19 years old?
Yeah. What kind of conversations are you having?
You're
I mean,
not having any conversation.
No, yeah, I mean, no offense to any teenagers, young girls listening right now, but like, you're gonna sit down. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You're 19. What are we gonna do?
Yeah,
right
no,
now?
life
It's not- and
experience.
and you
yet.
know what? That's
What are we
not,
gonna
that's
talk
not a
about?
disrespectful thing as far because you can have a very smart 19-year-old, but what do you have in common?
That's what I mean.
You're 2
There's no-
decades apart from each other. That's really weird.
Yeah. Get along with your dad real
But
cool.
I thought the
because we went to school together. You know that?
was that the right? Well, yeah, it was Anthony Kiedis, right? That's who it was. He's 61.
Well, look, we know what the deal is, right? He's marrying her for youth and beauty. She's marrying him for money. So,
and that's actually not. I was explaining
I
this.
mean,
Katrina and I were
Anthony
talking
Kiedis
about
in pretty good shape still.
this. No,
so
for a 61-year-old, he looks good.
great. Yeah.
And isn't that weird if you think about what, like, if you take it all the way back, hundreds of years ago, what do you, if you were a female, the male that you were attracted to had nothing to do with his age, had everything to do with his ability to
Resources.
protect and provide.
Yeah.
And in modern time, that's financial, money, and health.
Yeah.
And if you're a 61-year-old
changed a
dude and
lot,
you got
yeah.
abs still and you got a lot of money and stuff like that, you're what back then would have been considered the best hunter.
What
the guy
age-
who's coming home, dragging home 6 deer behind him.
you know what though? We know this now for a fact. Now we know this data wise. The human brain doesn't fully mature to think till mid-20s. So the frontal lobe is not fully developed until you're about, I believe, 24 or 25. So, if you're 25 and you're marrying a, 61-year-old, that's probably a lot different than 19. 19, you're still a child,
Yeah.
especially as my older kids get older
I know.
and I'm around, kids that are 19, 18, and I look at them like, oh yeah, you're all big. Now I remember when I was 18.
Where
I
are
thought
you
I was-
hanging out where that, oh, hey.
So the part that I think is weird when you talk about
Can we go to
we got a lot in
Gangbusters?
common.
when you talk about
like,
Red Hot Chili Pepper,
let's kiss.
Anthony, and you talk about Leonardo DiCaprio, that I think is one, is that you go that young and you have access to anything you want. So it's like you couldn't find a 24-year-old that, you know, to your point, like you couldn't find a 24-year-old that like checks all the boxes that the 19-year-old checks. Like that's just weird to me.
Yeah.
Like you should be able to find a 24, 25, 26-year-old.
Obviously, there's one thing at the top of his priority list, and everything else doesn't count. That's what he's looking at. You know what I mean?
That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Youth,
Why
beauty, sex appeal.
Why a guy, like guys that have that much access would go for that, right? Like you're talking about two super famous, super wealthy, good-looking guys. Pretty much have access to everything that they want,
They're not
and they
hanging out
go
on
right for a
LinkedIn, dude.
19-year-old.
They're definitely on TikTok.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
all I'm
did you
saying.
see? I got another one for you. Another Netflix documentary for you. Have you seen the TikTok one yet?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, watch that one. You'll like that.
I watched the
It's a
intro.
cult. It's a cult one for you.
Oh yes.
I know you like cult.
No, I
ones.
watched
some
the
boxes.
intro for it, and Jessica was like, she's like, no, because it was like it was gonna be depressing.
No. It's worth watching. It's worth watching. It's not like
Isn't it the girl that she left her family for this?
Yeah. But it's not. I thought it was gonna
A
be way.
TikTok
I thought
cult?
it was gonna be way more sad, and it's not. It's just it's actually more cult interesting.
Okay.
You'll become more fascinated with like
I'll get Courtney on
this
that one.
this
too.
guy. This guy actually figured this. You know what I thought was interesting was I follow like two of the dancers. I was like, oh shit. I was like, told Katrina, I'm like, I follow these guys, the two of these dancers right here, and I pulled up my Instagram.
They're
I'm
in
like,
the cult
yeah, or they were,
or were.
yeah,
Okay.
they were, yeah. So
And
you
so
guys,
they ended it.
no.
Oh.
Yeah. That's
still
why
happening?
I think the ones that I'm most interested in watching are these ones like the one that we talked about a while back, where the cults are still going.
Bro, I want like a like some kind of chart or something like a current status of all the cults right now. I bet you there's been a surge of new ones.
And what I think is so interesting, and why this one's interesting to me, and the last one we talked about, is that they still exist even after these documentaries come out and expose all of it.
Yeah.
It's still how like
It's almost like they get more popular.
yeah. I don't know. It makes no sense to me.
Like,
Like
what kind of group is this? Have you seen this documentary? That's us. That's us.
So that's just
They don't want you to know
that's
the truth.
non-believers.
Yeah.
like they're out to
like, could
discredit.
you imagine
our
trying to sell it to your
Lord.
friend after the documentary's already come out?
Well, you might help. You might help you sell it. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, they're really trying to put
people
us down.
who are in cults believe that they have the answer that nobody else knows about, right?
Yeah.
So that might actually sell it more. Like, yeah, they don't want people to know. You know, we know.
sure.
Whatever. A comet's coming. We're gonna go land up
Yeah,
there.
this-
Sucks to be that.
This preacher guy was running some serious game for sure. So he was using that as like a front and a cover, which protected him from a lot of the financial stuff. They had a really hard time. They're like,
That's the biggest
yes.
upside.
Well, so they're talking about this documentary talked about how difficult it is to take a cult down because there's nothing illegal about a cult.
Yeah.
Cult's not illegal.
because everybody's voluntarily.
That's right, because everybody's voluntarily getting controlled. It's like they're
donating their finances. Yeah.
So the only way they say they can get them is by showing them where they've like stolen money or done something.
Yeah, there has to be something illegal.
Yes, they have to find like an illegal financial loophole. And many times it's like a slap on the wrist because it's not enough. Because a lot of these people also gave their money. And that's why I think this guy didn't get taken down too, is that even though they proved all this money shit that he was doing, it's like, well, they wrote the check.
Damn.
They signed the check. They did give it away. So it's like they can all come together and say they were manipulated now and all stuff like that. But it's like, well, he didn't force you to. There's no proof of him twisting your arm or threatening your life. And so, yeah, it's tough to take him down.
Laws are. Did you? So I need confirmation for this, but I'm seeing lots of posts that there was a federal court. I think there was a lawsuit revolving around the COVID vaccines. That a federal court basically said they are not vaccines. Sorry, you can't classify them as vaccines. They weren't vaccines.
Which we've known since the beginning.
Wow, you know what's crazy? So we need to confirm this though, because this is new. So I don't know if we can find anything. But
My brain hurts with all this.
what's
stuff.
crazy about this is all the stuff that people said that got them in big trouble, that were labeled as crazy, conspiracy, whatever.
Yeah.
All of it's coming out to be true. I remember when people said
It's not vaccines, gene therapy. Like they're gonna like hammer that as like that's their fail safe.
Yeah, dude.
That's
like,
ridiculous.
Yes, like people are getting like
They
got
were
destroyed.
hammering us that it was a vaccine and it should be just like a polio vaccine.
Yeah.
That was the rhetoric.
Dude, it's wild. Like people said, oh, masks don't work. You shouldn't use it. You destroyed. Now they're like, oh, actually,
That's so frustrating.
Actually, they don't do anything. And like, oh, those plastic partitions you put up, they don't do anything. How dare you? And they're like, yeah, actually, it didn't do anything. Oh my God, shutting things down. That's not going to slow anything down. How dare you? And, oh yeah, actually, it came out that it's not. Now they're saying that it's not. They're not. Vaccinated. I know.
Of course, dude.
I know. Can you find anything, Doug?
Yeah, the problem I have with all this stuff is if you do the research on it, there's a lot of people saying all this stuff is false. Like Biden pooping his pants, no. What you just said, no. But the thing is, I don't trust any of the media at all today. So I don't honestly know what is true and what is not true.
Well, I'll tell you what.
It's part of the game.
You have the answer right there.
Oh, there's the other thing is that Joe Biden was not a babysitter. So we got all these fact checkers that are opposing the things that are being said out there that may or may not be true. And so it's really hard to research
maybe it isn't
this.
true, but I'll tell you what. You watch the video of him at the D-Day thing, and he definitely
something's going on there.
Something's
happening. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Okay.
That's not what you do. When
you got to ask the people in the front row.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, either way, he was having a senior moment. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, or he was like,
it didn't look right.
Focused.
Weird.
Anyway, so today's shout out is the Mind Pump newsletter. This is another form of media that we put out. It's not the podcast. It is not the YouTube channel. It's more cool stuff from us. It's totally free. Go to mindpumpmedia.com/newsletter. It's awesome. Check it out. You've been reading about all the benefits of cold water therapy or cold therapy. Well, there's a company called Plunge that makes these beautiful tubs that circulate and clean your water. It keeps the water cold. They look nice. They're quiet. That way you can jump in and do an ice cold plunge whenever you want to rejuvenate your body, reduce inflammation, regulate your hormones, reduces cortisol. The benefits are endless when you make this a practice, a regular practice. Go check them out. Go to plunge.com. Use the code MindPump. Get $150 off. All right, back to the show.
First question is from a man with a mission. If you're in your 40s and you maintain mostly the same workout, weight, and volume that you used in your 30s, does that mean you got stronger since you were supposed to get weaker as you got older? Does going against time count as improvement?
That's actually a good question. It is a really good question. I would say now the ages.
I'd say no.
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on the age, right? Like
You kind of define the odds
40.
on some level, right?
40.
Yeah.
So it says you're in your 40s and it's coming from your 30s. And you're just doing the same weight that you were doing 10 years ago.
I think you could definitely improve in different areas.
Yes,
but as
absolutely.
you get older, this starts to become more true.
So it's more of this. This isn't a bad thing. Okay. I wouldn't be discouraged like, I haven't been doing good at all for 10 years because I'm doing the same weights. And also the context matters. What if you and you're like, okay, if I could be doing right now in my mid 40s, what I was doing at 31, I would be very happy.
Right.
Because some of my peak shape was at 30.
That's right.
So this matters, right? So were you coming from some of your peak shape in your 30s and you're still able to maintain some? Oh man, that's phenomenal. I'd be very happy to be even there. I'm behind where I was at 31 right now. So the context matters, right? But if let's say you just really started lifting in your 30s and you weren't very strong in your 30s and you still maintain that there's probably a lot of room for improvement here.
Yeah. If you're fit and healthy at 40 versus your 30-year-old self that wasn't involved with consistent exercise and good diet and all that stuff, you're going to be better off. You'll be more fit. You'll be stronger. In fact, this was a lot of my clients. A lot of my clients hired me in their 40s and got in the best shape of their life in their 40s, even 50s. I know Doug, I want to say at the age of, he was late 40s, almost 50 when he got in the absolute best shape of his entire life. But if you're like hitting like crazy numbers in your 30s and stuff, and you can maintain that going to your 40s, then yeah, you're probably doing a damn good job. But this becomes more true the older you get, right? So
yes.
If you're 50, if you're 60, if you're 70, and you're using the same weights,
and you've maintained that, that's awesome.
You are absolutely killing it.
Yeah.
Now, this does point though to one thing, which is that there's two things here. One, your workouts should change. You should have some variety in what you're doing. Your goals should change just because the body does best that way. I mean, even with the most perfect workout programming, if it's directed in one direction all the time, you will develop imbalances. You will develop movement issues because balance needs to be factored in, right? So there's a strength to weight ratio and a strength ratio that refers to my body's ability to push versus pull versus stabilize versus balance, my isolateral strength versus my bilateral strength, that there's a balance there. And when that imbalance grows too large, because let's say you always train in one particular way you actually raise your risk of injury. So variety needs to be a part of your routine. And this kind of sounds like there's no variety. It's like the same stuff. I'm doing the same stuff all the time. So that's really the big one. The second thing is, as you do get older, and especially if you've been doing this for a long time, it becomes less important. It's still important, but it becomes less important to focus on your numbers and what you can lift and what you can do. I mean, you've been working out for 10 years consistently. Like
that's why me personally, I'm like, cool. Like that. I don't know. I think it's great if I could maintain what kind of numbers I was able to ramp up to Adam's earlier point. Like when you're like in your peak and like you were really getting after those numbers, but you could come back, revisit it, and kind of work your way back up to those numbers pretty easily as you're older. But you have all these other new skills and attributes you've acquired along, the other timeline that you've been focused on. I think that's way more admirable.
Listen, as you get into your 40s, 50s, and 60s, there's a lot less of strength that is required for proving how strong you are. Meaning, I need to be strong enough to do all the things that I love doing, and I want to be able to do that relatively easy. Meaning, I don't need to be able to pull 550 pounds off the ground off of for a deadlift. There's just that does not transfer over into the things that I do every day. That the difference between 350 and 550 in the things that I need to do every day is not
the risk of getting that strong versus the reward you get from it becomes so
being able to squat comfortably 225 to 300 pounds comfortably versus me being able to squat 450. The difference between that and the things that I'm doing in my life in my 40s and 50s doesn't matter.
I would argue, in fact, I would even make the argument as you get older that training and eating and directing yourself to the 450 or 500 pound squat probably would reduce your quality of life than just having a good 300 pound squat. Like that, because of the aches and pains and the dedication and the discipline and the focus and everything has to be perfect in a particular way. That I think it would take away.
You're going to pressure the hinges to a degree, after you hit a certain capacity. It's like it's just going to go down from there in terms of pain and restriction.
Yeah. I had somebody message me and they said, I thought you said that if you can do an exercise with perfect technique, form, stability, balance, that it's going to be safe always. So why are you saying the risk versus reward thing with getting stronger? And by the way, that's true. Like if you perform a movement with incredible control, stability, balance, and mobility, then the risk of injury is essentially zero. But here's the problem. If I'm doing an exercise, if let's say I'm doing a squat and I have 200 pounds on my back, and I move a half a degree to the left off of perfect form versus if I have 500 pounds on my back, the half a degree means a lot more in terms of potentially hurting myself. So at some point, you just look at things and say, okay, I can add 50 pounds to my lift if I really push, but is it worth it? And what is it going to mean if I can squat or lift 50 more pounds in my regular life or even how I look? Probably nothing. So it's smarter to train this way now.
Next question is from Anesthesia Strength. Can sleeping too much make you feel more tired?
Sure. So what's interesting about this? So if you look at the data on people who sleep too little versus people who sleep too much, people who sleep too much actually have worse health outcomes and longevity issues.
Do you think, Sal, that has less to do with the actual time they're sleeping and that that's their body trying to tell them there's something else going on?
Yeah, so that's what that's where I'm going here. So
okay.
People are like, oh my God, I sleep too much, I get too tired, or I'm sleeping so much, I can't feel rested. There's often an underlying thing that's going on. So when you look at the data on people who sleep lots and lots throughout the day, you're dealing with someone who's ill, either mentally, physically, or both. And that's what the issue is.
Right. So it's less to do with, you be careful if you sleep more than 9 hours a day, it's dangerous. It's like, listen, if your body is exhausted or feeling like it needs 10 hours of sleep every night, that's normally a sign. It's telling you something else is going on that it needs that, or
you're depressed. Depression. One of the hallmarks of deep depression is lots of sleeping, just constant wanting to rest and sleep, and I can't feel rested. So if you're by the way, there's a range, right? So there's definitely people that need more like 9 hours of sleep at night. And if they don't get 9 hours, they feel kind of off. And then there's people who are more or closer to the 7 to 8 hours. And then there's the rare occasion. There are rare cases of people who get away, who actually do well around 6 hours or so. But if you're finding like, oh my God, I slept 12 hours and I'm exhausted, and I've been sleeping 12 hours a day for like a week, and like there's something else.
Unless you're a
on.
teenager. And then your
teenage brain is wild.
Oh my God. I know Ethan's going through that right now. Like wake up at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, dude.
Do I wake him up?
I remember that though. I remember that. I
Yeah.
remember going through that phase.
Bro,
too.
what a difference, by the way. I'll just tell you right now, because I have teenagers and then I have toddler and a baby. Like toddlers will wake up at the crack of dawn no matter what happens. I'm awake. Teenagers, I got to go in their room and be like, "Are you alive?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you need water? Like, what the fuck?"
I gotta like throw a book at it.
Yeah. By the way, did your parents let you sleep in? Mine didn't. Did you guys get a
Mine
chance?
did, yeah.
Mine did on the
Mine
weekend.
And I let him
on the
sleep
weekends.
too.
I could.
Did you really?
Yeah, on the weekends I
No,
could.
bro. I never. It's Saturday morning.
Explains a lot.
Yeah.
Dude.
Explains a
I
lot.
still love it. I'll sleep in if I can.
No,
It's- I
Saturday
can't
morning,
really
my dad was like,
That's why you're so obnoxious in the
like,
morning, bro. Because you've been trained that way your whole life.
Get up. You got to help me. We got to go do some work. I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay, Dad.
No, my parents did let me do that. You know, the point I want to make with this question is because you said something that I feel like it traps so many people that like there's studies that show people that only get 6 hours still are good.
Yeah,
Some
and everybody
people-
thinks that's them.
So right. So everybody. So in my experience, every single person I have ever trained has opportunity to improve sleep.
Yeah.
So I don't care who you think you are in this spectrum of I get good sleep. There is every person I have ever coached and trained, there's opportunity to improve that. And we talked earlier about improving your sleep by 10 to 20%. The returns you will get from that are far greater than any of these other hacks or supplements that are out on the market.
Quality.
Everybody should be always assessing their sleep quality and always trying to improve that.
Yeah. By the way, the odds that you're one of those people that needs less sleep than everyone else, like that's the same as the odds that you have the genetics to be in the NBA. So probably not.
Next question is from MFS Wellness. With Instagram and other social media platforms sexualizing fitness so heavily, what strategies can be used to thwart people from the superficial and vanity of it all and turn inward to focus on using fitness for themselves, quality of life, and loved ones?
You know what? When I think about something like this,
Thwart and smite.
yeah, no, I love the word choices here, right? The truth will always prevail, and I think those are things that we see right now. I think Instagram, social media in general, is relatively new in our existence, right? Our human existence. It's a newer tool, and people early on found quick hacks to get attention. And some people have turned that attention into monetization and had temporary success. But long-term success is going to go fall back on the truth. And I think if you're a person that's trying to build a social media following like that, stick to that. Stick to what you know is true and continue to give people the truth and value. And eventually, I think the right people will find you and you'll grow and you'll help people.
100%. And by the way, it's not Instagram and social media that's sexualizing fitness. It's people.
Been forever, yeah.
It's people. We sexualize fitness. It's people. The first step I would say is this. Go on your own social media and completely change your explore pages and your algorithm. Like literally block pages that sexualize fitness or follow pages that present the information you want. Don't hover on the pages you don't want to follow. Yeah. And listen, I have a different opinion now on social media because I've done this. My wife's done this. If you go on my wife's Instagram and you scroll through her, the explore page and stuff, it's all like personal growth, parenting. Like she has really narrated essentially her algorithm. So you could do that. And to Adam's point, if you're a trainer or a coach and you're using sex to sell, like you're constantly posting, this is like the core of what you do, constantly posting how you look. Very few coaches can actually build a business off this. Okay. Most people just get a lot of eyes and likes and can't ever turn it into a business. If you do things the right way and present fitness in the right way, in the ways that really get people healthy and fit for the long term, You might not get as many eyes, but you'll have more impact. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, exactly what you said, but also you got to realize, like, you know, people are going to be attracted to attractive people, and they're going to seek that out themselves. Let them, you know, like, and if you're feeding that, that's on you. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, it could be any other thing they're promoting. It doesn't even matter if it's like, you know, some piece of plastic or some waist trainer or some whatever bullshit thing they're going to throw your way. They're hot. They're looking great. You're following them because you're just looking at them. And that's it. That's all it is. Like, we don't have to, like, you know, restructure the way that they're doing it. Like, just stop.
Ignore them.
Ignore them. Yeah.
Next question is from Dratella. What is the definition of cardio? Is it based on heart rate?
You know, Doug, I'd like for you to look up the definition of cardiovascular exercise and see what it says. Because I mean, I can tell you what it looks like, but in a nutshell, it's when you're using the glycolytic energy, primarily using those energy sources.
And that is a formula based off of your heart rate.
Yeah.
And everyone has an individual formula that you can plug in and figure out based off of your resting heart rate. And once your heart rate crosses over what they call the cardio threshold, you're now in cardio.
Yeah.
So it's not anything related just to the heart, because I saw people answering underneath it. That's why I put this question up here.
But, you know, I mentioned the glycolytic energy. You know, here's the deal. You're always using that energy system too. So that's not even completely accurate.
Yeah.
What does that say? Any form of activity that uses aerobic metabolism. See, the problem with that is that all strength training, strength training still uses some aerobic metabolism.
Here's a better look up formula for cardio threshold, and I'm going to get it for you.
Wasn't it 220 minus age times?
Yes. 220 minus that.
Is it Carvonian?
Yes,
Carvonian
that's it.
formula.
Good job.
I remember that.
Good job.
I know, that's
with the K.
That's like the science that you learn on a treadmill.
Subtract your age from 180 to get your MAF heart rate. For example, if you're 30 years old, MFA heart rate would be
that's just the basic. That's not the Carvonian
You can
formula.
then add or subtract the number of the base life factors. Use a heart rate monitor to train.
Carvonian formula is more accurate. That's like more individualized. So look up Carvonian. It's how it sounds.
Start with a K. Yeah.
And then look up the Carvonian formula for this. But people overthink this. To be honest with you.
Of course they do.
Like you know who needs to know all these numbers? Like hardcore endurance athletes or athletes. Like let's look at your VO2 max. It's
lactate threshold, like all that stuff matters at that.
Okay, so I think where we probably why we get this question is because of how there it is right there. 220 minus age. I think you add back your resting
for heart rate max, and then hold on. Your heart rate reserve multiplied by the percentage of intensity plus your resting heart rate. That sounds confusing. But you can look this up and figure this out for yourself. Or 180 minus your age, which is going to give you general. So general too, because there's a difference from person to person to figure this out. But have you guys ever trained a client where you're like, we got to measure your heart rate, make sure you're in the right zone?
And then it changes.
So I went through the reason why I knew all that off the top of my head was because I went through a phase where
you probably sold training with
I did. I totally did.
Fat burning zone.
You're wasting your time.
Just being honest, I used to go to people on the treadmills and tell them they were not maximizing their fat burning because they didn't understand their cardio systems and they didn't know where the highest potential of fat is being burned versus energy versus potential muscle and how to stay in that zone 2 range. And so I used to break it down for them and be like, we want to manage your heart rate right in here to optimize your
fat burn.
Yes, yeah. So
we were taught
that's circulating again. I've seen people
I mean, it's a thing, right? So and I'm sure we get it because we talk about like we're not big fans of using cardiovascular training for fat loss.
That's all though.
Really, I just point the fact that you need to be doing activity. You know, like moderate to low intensity activity throughout the day.
Yeah, look,
we've really overcomplicated. The other reason why to support Sal, your point that it's really so irrelevant and so ridiculous because you can change VO2 max within a week. So like you could go down, you could plug all the numbers in and be like, okay, this is my cardio threshold. Here's my zone 2. This is where I should manage. And then you get really efficient at cardio in 1 week, right? Yeah, 1 week. And then now that moves and it changes because
by the way, building a little bit of muscle automatically raises your VO2. But you know what I hate about this? And this happened to me as a trainer. And I know this happens to a lot of people. This conversation around heart rate and fat burning zone and what level you're at or whatever and the Carvonian formula completely made walking look like a waste of time. Walking, like, walking? You walk for exercise? What a waste of time. Because it's not any of the zones that make a difference. It's not a fat burning zone.
Right.
What's your maximum heart rate? You're walking? Which is so dumb because I could have been communicating for at least the first almost 10 years of my career to people to walk more. But instead, I told them not to walk because these communicate, hearing this made me believe that walking was a waste of time because you're not breathing hard. You're not, your heart rate isn't getting to a particular, place or whatever, which is just not true. For the average person listening right now, who's not an athlete, who doesn't have any aspirations of, super high performance, who just wants to be healthy, improve their longevity and all that stuff, your best bet, aside from the occasional strength training once or twice a week, just walk more and don't worry about your heart rate zone.
Conversational cardio.
That's it.
Where you can talk and you don't lose your breath in between.
That's it, 100%. And you're not going to get crazy endurance and stamina from it, but you'll get great health benefits. Look, if you love the show, we have a free guide that teaches you how to squat like a pro. So it talks about mobility, form, technique, and different forms of squatting. It's a free How to Squat Like a Pro guide. You can find it at mindpumpfree.com. You can also find all of us on social media. Justin is on Instagram at mindpumpjustin. I'm on Instagram at mindpumpdestefano, and Adam is on Instagram at mindpumpadam.